social media?
Well, I think there's so many reasons. Many years ago when I started professionally working with social media in 2010. But I have been using Facebook before that, I believe since 2005. But I realized that technology was always something I enjoyed. And I'm pretty techie myself. I'm creative and techie, really interesting combination, I guess. But I really loved having that social aspect as well. But I see social media as a self-publishing news platforms. So for me, it just had a lot of power. So when you think about it from a business perspective, you are the one in charge, and you are the one sharing your own updates about your own business and engaging with your own customers on your platform or profile. So I thought that was really powerful, and I thought I wanted to be part of that story, and I wanted to understand that how that works. And that was my interest. And then it grew to so many other reasons why I did it and how I did it. But I'll tell you a bit more about it. I think I just want to do a couple of important things before we dive into today's presentation. And I made some notes for myself just so I don't forget. So more like housekeeping information. I think you guys will get the most out of today's presentation if you truly focus on what we are talking about and turn off your phones, kick out your children. I did. I sent them out. I didn't want to have any interruptions, so I can actually deliver this to you in the best possible way. So no distractions. Grab a coffee or a drink and sit down and relax. I have supplied some templates for you that are the actual templates that I speak about in this presentation. And when we get to that point, I'll mention. So you will be able to use these templates and download them. So just try to be focused. This session will be recorded, so you will be able to access this recording in the future, so you can actually go and remind yourself what it is. I have tried to compress a lot of knowledge in here and in this particular session. And this really is something that I was teaching over a year period. And I tried to compress it in 1 hour for you. So there's a lot of information that will be thrown at you. And that's why I want you to focus. We'll have some Q&A session at the end. So we will give you opportunity to ask questions. Record them and write them down for yourself. So when we get to that last section or part of this presentation, you will have opportunity to ask questions. The presentation will go for about 50 minutes to an hour. So I kind of timed it that long, but we'll see. Maybe we'll get there a little bit faster. I also want to acknowledge, this is really important for all of us working for Serena Russo Group, but it should be important for all of us really, to acknowledge the traditional owners of our land, the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people of this country. We also pay respect to elders past and present who strive to build a better and more sustainable future for future generation. And I'm running this seminar from home, and I live in a beautiful Yunga country on the Gold Coast. So before we dive in, I've arranged with Paul to ask you a couple of questions, and we'll pop them up as we go. So this is a little poll for you guys. I wanna understand, and it's nice to share and understand, what social media platforms do you use? And we've just put some main ones here. So Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, or Pinterest. We have certain limitations in this platform. So perhaps out of these 4, would you like to pick a choice of your platform that you use? We'll give you a minute to answer that. While you're picking that, I just want to also say to you, that if you drop out, please just come back in. So don't be too surprised, and don't be afraid to just come in. Can you guys see the little poll? You can use the poll to answer that. Can you see that poll or not? Maybe just answer it in a poll. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
We've got plenty of responses so far.
Oh, good. Fabulous. Okay, thank you. Got that. It's good that you
can you see the responses?
No, I can't see the responses. Okay.
Would you like me to tell you so far?
Yes. All right. Thank you. Tell us.
Okay, so we've got 63 for Instagram, 24 for YouTube, 79 for Facebook. That's by far the most popular one. 4 for Pinterest and 12 for none. Okay.
I'm sure there's people probably using maybe Twitter or LinkedIn or a few other ones, but that's cool. That's really good to know. I can see people saying, yes, LinkedIn, that wasn't included. Oh, thank you. I can see responses. Yes. And none was probably other platforms. Yeah. We have 5 maximum possible responses options here. So that's good. Thank you for sharing that. So most people are on Facebook and Instagram, which is really what I thought it would be the case and predicted, but it's really good to know. So there'll be another couple of little polls through the presentation. So we'll ask you a few questions. It's really good to understand as well. You can guys all hear me well? Paul, you can hear me?
Perfectly.
Fabulous. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I'll just tell you a little bit about myself. I have been a trainer of social media marketing for 3 years. So I did that work here on the Gold Coast, but I was a national trainer for Diploma of social media. I've been a coach, a small business owner, and entrepreneur myself. I had 3 or 4 businesses. I had lots of side hustles. So, you know, I love my work and what I do. It's probably one of the most enjoyable jobs, this one, where I get to speak to so many different businesses and you know, business owners. I have 20 years of experience as a business and marketing strategist. I have worked with HubSpot. I've been trained by HubSpot, Facebook, and Google as well. So I do have knowledge from those areas. And last year I finally completed my MBA. So I do have knowledge of big business as well as small business. So hopefully that can help few of you guys with future, you know, with some future planning. So that was just a little bit about me. I don't want to spend too much time there. I want to talk about what we're going to do today. So social media marketing on a zero budget. I just want to say one thing, really, there is no zero budget. Let's be honest here. What is in this sentence, what I imply is that you will do most of the work. And for that reason, you don't have to pay somebody else for that work. But to be honest, you know, if you have to put a value on your hours and your work, then everything costs. So I want you to be aware of that. And I want you to be aware of the time and effort this work takes. So I've tried to make it really simple, simple steps. And what we talk about is I try to make it as easy as possible for you. So you will learn a simple 5-step process, how to set up your basic social media, it's organic social media marketing strategy and implementation plan. Develop practical and applicable social media marketing for your business. Obviously, you want to ensure that all your actions are strategic and measurable, and they result in valuable outcomes. There's no point doing work if we don't know why we're doing it. As I said, it does take time and money. And there's really no point of doing any work if you don't have valuable outcomes. Okay, so you will get some tips for immediate start and achievable short and long-term goals. And I love how my little pop-ups come up in the middle of it. So this is another little poll that we want to ask you, and I just want to understand, how much time do you spend on your social media platforms daily? So that's cool. Very many people reacted pretty quickly, so we can see. Oh, actually, 141. Did we have? Oh, we had 141 responses. So a lot of people may spend about an hour on each platform. Some people spend 15 minutes, 30 minutes. An hour is usually, or hour plus, more than an hour, 37 respondents. And that's really important for us to understand how much time we spend on platforms. So I'm asking you for two reasons. One is, when you say, I don't have time, you need to ask yourself, how much time are you spending browsing social media? But I also want you to understand how much time your customers might be spending on social media. So these are really important to have. Okay. We also want to learn to evaluate and measure our activity, which is really important, and understand what we can improve and do better. And obviously, as I promised, there's 3 templates that I'll be giving away, and you guys can use that for your work. Sorry, I'm not responding to all of your questions or comments because I'm going to focus on presenting. And I think as I said, if you have a question, leave it for later. Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about platforms. So most popular social media platforms worldwide as of July 2021. Facebook is #1. We're talking in millions. So we do have the most amount of people on Facebook. The second most used platform is YouTube. And another important aspect of YouTube is that it is actually another search engine. So it's built by Google, so of course it is a search engine, and for that reason it's not just a social media platform, even though it's very specific. It does have different capabilities. You can see WhatsApp is really important as a communication tool, and Instagram definitely comes as a 4th, Messenger and WeChat after that. I love giving you these numbers because they're very powerful numbers when you start talking about measuring and understanding. And I want you to be comfortable with data and be comfortable with numbers, because this is something that you must start doing as part of your social media. Having likes and sweet comments and nice emojis is not enough. You really need to make sure you understand your data, and we'll talk about metrics a little bit later today. In 2020, Yellow Pages published a social media usage report. You can search this report and download it for last year. It's not going to be very different, but I just want to show you roughly again how much time they've discovered their users spend on different platforms. And this is measured per week. So, you know, we roughly how long would you spend using each platforms? So this is per minute on each occasion. So you can see that, you know, if somebody logs into Facebook, they spend about 15-16 minutes each time they log in. They may log in 3 or 4 times a day. So very quickly, these numbers accumulate. And if you guys measure your own activity, you will realize that you might be spending 2 hours a day on social media because it's logging in and out multiple times per day. So you can see that, you know, YouTube is probably the longest because it supports long form videos, but Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, you know, they come up pretty high. Every session, you know, is averaging between 10 and 15 minutes. I want to show you the next slide. is also how many times per week people, use this platform. And we've got a little bit of variety here with gender and age. These reports are very good if you have specific target demographic you want to work with. So these obviously, we can see that Facebook women in general use this platform more, about 32 times per week. And we said, averaging 15 minutes, you do the maths, that's a lot of hours. So same as other platforms. So you can see the dominant platforms are definitely Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn and Pinterest are high. Snapchat is really high with certain demographics. So, and obviously TikTok has experienced a huge rise in the last couple of years. It's going up to 30 times a week for most females. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of information like that. I will quickly do an overview of social media platforms. I do very basic overview here, but I want to just pay attention to some basic and important things that we need to talk about when we start talking strategy. You really, want to understand the purpose of the platform and how you can use it for business. Everything we do, obviously talk about in this strategy session is for business. But when I was talking about statistics, is really people using these platforms for their own leisure and use. So when we're designing any kind of strategy work, I always talk to you in terms of doing it for your business. Okay, so Facebook obviously has the biggest platform and global reach, 2.8 billion active monthly users. 3-4 years ago, I really was convinced that Facebook is going to die. And it's proven to me every quarter that it just went from strength to strength. And it's a platform that will stay. It's the most widely used platform in the world. It's very specific to be cross-generational platform, and it's got every age group you can think of. The obviously purpose is to bring people together. Some specifics about this platform and characteristics are, and I love it for that reason, multiple formats can be used. You can put photos, short or long-term, long articles. These days you can put videos, even longer videos, stories, collaborations, polls and quizzes. It's very engaging and very interesting platform. Audience profile, as I said, it's a cross-generational, so it supports different age groups, anyone from grandparents to parents to grandchildren. Sometimes you have 5 generations of one family all using Facebook. And that's pretty important for us as marketers, as business owners. Industries that use Facebook is pretty much every industry: retail, fashion, e-commerce, gaming, automotive, entertainment and media, pretty much everyone. And we know that. So you really, if you're not on Facebook, if your business is not on Facebook, you have to ask yourself, should I be on Facebook? Instagram is a little bit more fun, a little bit more creative. Another from the same obviously from the same owner. Facebook is, or Meta is the owner of this platform as well. Smaller size, 1.1 billion, but very important for certain industries like travel, beauty, fashion, retail and consumer goods. Very prominent on Instagram. Some important characteristics are very strong visuals. If you're going to be on Instagram, you have to understand that Instagram works as a magazine. It's a grid. So you want to be very visual, beautifully designed, use beautiful graphics and very little text. It's got its limitations, but it also has reels and stories, and it's possible to actually create beautiful storytelling, visual storytelling on Instagram. The next platform, as I said, I'm just doing quick overviews. It's going to be, we're talking about YouTube. Obviously started off as a video-only platform, but as I said, it's a very important one because it does have search capabilities. So it stands next to Google as the biggest search platform, second biggest search platform in the world. YouTube has 2 billion logged in monthly users. Quite a lot of adults, but there's lots of kids on YouTube as well. Obviously, the purpose is to give voice to everybody. So it's one of those first self-publishing platforms in the world. 79% of Australian population use YouTube. Often businesses use YouTube to store long-form video content, which is fine. You can do that and use it just for that reason, but it's obviously meant to be more than that. It's used for gaming, technology, entertainment, education, news, creative arts, and it's actually becoming more and more popular as time goes by. So, and it's also changing a little bit. So I'm not, as I said, I'm just giving you quick snapshots. TikTok, really popular platform in the last 2 years. It has exploded. I think I've seen almost every friend of mine do something on TikTok. Is really specializes in short form mobile video, often with music, obviously, sharing very happy, upbeat moments, vibrant content, visual platform again. 62% of audience is aged 10 to 29. If your business is targeting that particular target demographic, that is the place to be. Industries obviously are music, dance, showbiz, retail, fashion, and so on. So you can see which industries adopted TikTok real quick. This will change. Every platform is changing quite dramatically, and I'm not going to be surprised to see more and more industries and use in this platform. So let's talk a little bit about organic social media strategy and development. And I've seen so many different ways of doing this, and I've taught strategy for 3 months, and it's something that takes time, to learn, but I'm trying to compress this for you in a really simple way. So I hope it works for most of you. Some of you will need more, some of you will need less, but this is my take on it. My first and really important step and for this presentation is understanding your target audience, setting your marketing objectives and SMART goals, okay? Selecting your topics and formats that you're going to use on your social media, scheduling your posts, and engaging with your audience. These, for me, are 5 of the most important steps, and they're kind of logical, and they should, everyone should think this way, but I think people struggle when you're busy in your business. You don't know where to start. So let's start from our first point, understanding your target audience. And I'm actually curious, has anyone ever done buyer personas? A few guys that are on this call, if you have done it, just put yes. Have you ever created buyer personas? I just want to see if anyone has actually done it. I'm not going to be surprised if you haven't, but I'll be pleasantly and happy about it. Yes. Look at these yeses. That's awesome. Very good. Very good. I'm really happy you did this. And it's something that a lot of businesses don't do. They jump into running business without understanding who their target audience is. And creating buyer personas is actually, to me, it's a bit of fun. Yes, it takes time and you need to do that and then invest a bit of time in it. But once you do it, and if you have top 3 or 4 customer demographics that you are going to be working with, your buyer personas will probably stay the same forever with some small changes. So it's really worth investing in developing your buyer personas. Yes, Paul Miller, thank you. Avatar. Some people call them customer avatars. So To be successful in your marketing efforts on social media or pretty much any marketing, you have to invest time in understanding your key audience demographics and psychographics. By defining your common audience, their characteristics, needs, or pain points, you will uncover important cues which will help you successfully communicate with your customers. Every business should have 2 or 3 specific types or, buyer personas. And in marketing terms, as I said, we call them customer avatars or buyer personas. I've actually included here a HubSpot link to make buyer personas, really simple ones. But I'm going to give you a template. So what is included in a buyer personas? So this is for you guys a bit of a template, and I want to explain how I came to this. I've used HubSpot buyer persona template, and I've created this lady called Katie Evans. She's not real. She's just is a photo of another person with information about Katie. But when you actually read about her, you will definitely think she sounds real. And to answer something, some people ask me, so how do I know if I don't have any customers, how do I know what are these particular types? You need to sit down and think about who your top target market is and start defining it. Sometimes people sit down and write 1 or 2 or 3 different types of their customer demographics. When I was working as a marketing manager, I had 7 personas that I worked with, and they represented 7 different customer segments that I had to address and work with. So for most of you, you'll have 1 or 2, okay? But these are the most important things to identify. Their background, okay? And it sounds really painful that you have to go through this, but I want you to identify what they do, are they married, where they live, how old they are, how much they earn, are they on social media, are they sporty or not sporty, energetic, do they prefer staying at home, and so on. I want you to think about those details, and this continues. There is way more, and this is actually where, for me, as a marketer, this is where the crunch comes, okay? So identifying if they have goals, what are the goals they wish to achieve? And this particular person that I had in mind was a typical customer of a private college where I used to work. So she was very typical. She wanted to send her kids to a private school. She loves meeting other parents. She has certain challenges, like financial constraint, or she's a young mum. She doesn't know how to do certain things. So these are more of psychographics, as we call them. You start getting to analyze. If we go back, that is just demographics. What's their background, how old they are, where they live, what they do, how much money they make, are they married, do they have education? That's pretty much the beginning of what we need to know, and that's what are their goals, what are their challenges or pain points. We need to understand if these people, if they don't have money and they need to have something resolved, how can we help? Okay. And this is where that probably is the most important part of this process, is how can we help, which helps us develop a marketing message for this customer. So we want to identify what is it that we say to these people, and it almost helps you create an elevator pitch. Okay, so this lady has challenges. There are financial constraints, expensive tuition. She also is young mum. She doesn't know what she doesn't know. So how we can help? For this business, it was, we can give you education to your children from prep to year 12, no transition, seamless, co-educational. We are affordable and have inclusive fees, which means you're not going to be surprised with some extra costs. We offer payment plans, low annual fee increases. we also record if we can. So if you have already existing customers, you want to think about their real quotes. What is it they tell you? And record that, because this is what is important to them. It's not a surprise. You should know what is important to your customers. For this lady, it was, I want both of my children to be at the same school throughout their education. That's what she wanted. Sometimes that's not realistic, but that's what she wanted. Some common objections that she will tell us: oh, I'm worried about the first year of school because my kids, I've never had to deal with that. I've never had, first time mum. I'm worried about bullying. Does this school have bullying? And then we need to work out our market message to this person. So what is it that we offer? And we're looking at how we can help her. What are her real quotes? What are her pain points and challenges? And we say, we offer a community of like-minded families and value culture. We offer nurturing environment for a child. We can offer you, prep to year 12 program. And from that, you can develop a really simple, what we call elevator pitch, but it could be just a simple marketing message where we say, we offer nurturing and caring environment and social circle throughout your child's schooling. So this takes a little bit of time. You will have to sit down and maybe invest an hour or 2 hours per buyer persona to actually dig really deep and understand your customer. But once you identify this, it will help you create your marketing messaging. And for me, it was really important because I wanted to understand them. So I wanted to be able to speak to these people and my customers in their own language, to offer them what they need. So for me, this is super important. Identifying my target audience was really, really important, and keeping it real. I love that. Yes, it needs to be real people. And if you can use their own language and their real quotes, that's the best, because you're not translating their message in your mind. You're using their own language. You're actually listening to what they say to you, and recording that. You can do surveys. I can just see some of the comments. You can do surveys, yes, but sometimes it's probably not. Even just identifying some key customers that you've been dealing with and talking to them will be probably enough, or just sitting down and remembering what your customers say to you. If you are a new business, you can do this. And try to project what your customer would be saying and how they're living. In about a year time or 6 months, you can go back and reassess what you wrote, because if you're a little bit off, you can correct that and make that work. There is a template that I'm going to give you. Some of the most important areas of this template will be their frequency on device and network and preference. Maybe that's what you may not have all the answers, but you just put some, because if you have most of your customers on Facebook, you will then quickly and easily realize you need to be on Facebook. So that's one of the reasons why you want to do this, and you want to maybe survey your customers about that as well. But you will find very quickly which platforms they use. The whole point of this is to know where they are, so you know where to reach them. It's not about what you think you should do. It's where your customers are. Go and find them there, instead of building a profile, or maybe you don't need a website. Maybe you just need a good social media channel, or the other way around. Maybe if you're a business to business and you need 10 or 20 customers a year, you maybe don't need a full social media. You might just need some presence, but you need to know your customers and where they are to do the right thing for your business. Targeted in the true sense. Yes, that's what we want to do. We want to do the targeted effort to get maximum outcomes. So let's now talk about marketing objectives. Once you understand your target demographics, you can do this the other way around. You could start from your objectives, really, but this is what needs to be defined. And in marketing language, we often use qualitative and quantitative objectives. And I'll explain and give you examples of what they are and why they are important. Okay. Setting objectives is important because it's like setting a course of your ship. You really want to know where you want to get and what you want to achieve with your marketing strategy. Qualitative objectives, I always talk about Apple. When I was teaching, for me, in my head, Apple was the biggest and the best example of qualitative marketing and how they achieved their objectives. It was always about long-term goals, about brand awareness, about reputation. So it's hard to measure in numbers, but it's something that stays in people's minds forever. So you need to have some of those qualitative measures in your strategy. So for me, these will be, building your brand awareness for your business. And you can build that as a quality provider or cheapest provider or, best product in market, whatever that is. But I want you to build that awareness. This is something you have to do as an ongoing exercise. Brand awareness campaigns should exist all the time. And you will start noticing now after this, I hope you start noticing big companies like Coca-Cola, Apple, Samsung, Nike, they only do that. That's what they only do. You'll never see, it's the rebel sport that may have Nikes on sale and, they want to achieve that many targets with that sale. Nike itself will never worry about that. What they worry about is preserving their brand and building the awareness and continuing that reputation. Okay. And that's what big brands do. And I think it doesn't matter how big your business is, you should be working on that. You can promote your new business, product, or service. You can foster quality relationships with your clients, staff, business partners, suppliers, loyal clients, and will create passionate advocates. So that is your long-term goal. Very important part of the funnel, which I won't talk about funnel today, but it is loyalty and advocacy. 80% of your business comes from 20% of your customers. So you really want to nurture your customers that give you the best outcomes. In terms of quantitative objectives, I love to talk about SMART goals. And SMART, you will know from your business plans, it's strategic, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound or timely goals. So you need to put a date on it. And I really want to start every single person thinking how you're going to measure and how you're going to achieve these, because you need to have a healthy mix of both. And some examples are increase number of followers by 10% each month, for example. Increase engagement by 20%. And that could be your video views, your comments, your interactions on social media. Create new leads to increase sales by 25% per quarter, let's say. Increase sales by 10% each month. Nurture existing leads and convert to sales by 15% per month. Increase traffic to the website by 10% per month. Create leading pages or lead pages to collect these leads. As you can see, my percentages are very small, and I would actually encourage you to make them even less, 5 to 10%, because that small incremental improvement will lead you to 100% improvement later on. And it's really nice when you actually smash your goals, and you have to have good goals, but you need to have them realistic. So if you're a small business, you might have 10 customers this month. You're just starting up, and that will be your 100% improvement from the last month. But I want you to think very strategically. Also, if you do have too many customers, what happens? Can you service them? So we want to grow slowly and sustainably. This is, for me, important to show you, because I think for people people sometimes struggle. They don't understand how both of these work. But if you can have a bit of a mix of both, for me, that's really important. Okay. So next step, and as I said, I'm giving you really short, sharp crash course in social media strategy. So I hope you're ready and you're not flipping out. I think what we covered so far is actually quite common, and you must have heard about personas before and marketing objectives. So I'm not, I wouldn't be surprised. The next step is really important. That's selecting topics and format and choosing the right topics and format to support your objective. So everything you do has that objective in mind. So talking about what it means. So topic is what you are talking about, and format is the type of file, data file that you will be using. So when you start collecting information that you have on your computer and your databases, and one thing I would love everyone to do, as I said, this is part of bigger strategy, but start creating libraries of content. And if you haven't started, just start today. Create a folder with all the images, create a folder with all customer images, folder with feedback, folder with text and information about your product. So you have everything easily accessible when you start doing your strategy and you're posting. Okay, this is something actually that takes the most of time for everyone I worked with. When I have private clients, going through their database and through their images is something that took them weeks. It's a strategy. I put strategy together for them in 2 days. It took them 3 weeks to put all the content together. So that's the content marketing part. That's we all need to know what we're doing, but we need to have things on hand, ready to go. And it's easier said than done. When you're running your own business, it's hard to do that, but it's never too late. Start today. So some ideas to give you ideas how to develop content, really good content for your posts. So think about topics, what you can write about. So educate customers about your brand. Who are you? What is your story? You all have amazing personal stories. Many people have disability or had mental illness or some problem that they overcame and they're running their own business. Make that known. It's really important to be real, to be authentic, and you will emotionally connect with your customers better if you tell your story or your business story. Some people have tried to set up their business 3 times and failed, and then finally it happened. That's a great story. A lot of people love that. You can introduce your latest or new products, and that's a really good topic that you can talk about. You can invite people to try your service or sign up. Obviously, you can promote your sales or end-of-month promotions, end-of-line products. You can do buy one, get one free, before and after comparisons, refer a friend, or offer discounts. Just giving you some ideas what topics you can create. Formats. So you're merging the two, the topic and the format. And sometimes you'll have a topic and you may create 3 or 4 different pieces of content based on that same topic. So you can use, for one of them, you can use images or infographics. For other piece, you can use videos or webinars or podcast, audiobooks, surveys, charts, checklists, blogs and articles, interactive content. So suddenly you may have a really beautiful piece of content that's introducing customers to your brand and your story, and you create that as a text and an image. Then you create another piece of content that's a text and a video, okay? And then you might have a blog or some interactive content, or maybe A and B kind of questionnaire. You tell your story and say, which product do you prefer, red or blue? So there's lots of things you can do twice or 3 times. So you choose your topic, but you output and create content in 3 different ways. This, first of all, will help you eliminate wasting time creating content all the time. So what you want to do is repurpose that same topic that should be, you know, something about your brand, and do that 3 or 4 times in different ways. So, and certainly repost that more than once. Post it more than once. You can repost in a month or 2 months' time. But what I'm trying to do is show you how you can quickly create multiple pieces of content talking about the same topic, okay? And you'll just have to do 2 or 3 topics that you want to specialize in, and for you, for your business, they will be relevant. I hope this makes sense and this helps you, because for me, what was really important is to help me. I was doing everything myself, and I wanted to quickly create a lot of content that I can just post daily. And I needed to understand how I could do that really quickly. When you post it once, it's obviously live and it should stay on your platform, unless it's some special or discount that's a time-based. And then in a month's time, there was a question about reposting. In a month's time, you can repost it again, reuse that same content and do it again. You can do it on a different day. You can do it on a different time of the day, different time of the month. Customers will probably miss your first post. A lot of people will miss your first post. So you can actually quite easily post same post, repost 3 times before everyone sees it. And then wait, you know, some time and reuse it again. Once you create really good, I call it evergreen content, especially branding content, brand awareness content, it should be good 2 years later. You should be able to use that content again in some time, maybe 6 months, a year or 2 years. You can use it again and again, because that's how good it should be and relevant, of course, if it's still relevant for your product. So don't be afraid to repost. People miss a lot of information and a lot of posts on social media. People use, you know, and log in at different times. So if you're posting late at night, you know, you might want to reconsider reposting early in the morning, you know, in a couple of weeks' time, because, you know, there'll be people there at 6 o'clock in the morning that you've completely missed. They haven't seen your post. So just think about that. Post fatigue, yes. I will talk to you a little bit about that, and maybe to respond to that is engagement. Instead of just posting and overloading your platform, you should engage with your customers on that post. So they will see it more than once, but you're not reposting it, you're actually engaging. We'll talk about engagement as a last step. And I just want to show you some examples here of different content and different, you know, questions. One thing that's working really well at the moment is asking questions and getting audience to comment. I couldn't resist that. When I was putting this together was a week ago. So Djokovic problem was in the media, and it's all kind of finished now, I think, but very engaging. Like, some controversial topics create a lot of engagement. People love giving their opinion. Like, if you can deal with people's opinions, you should ask them what they like. You know, definitely a good way to create some engagement on your post. So you certainly can, you know, do a lot of good work just by choosing a couple of different topics and focusing on them and creating different content on that topic. When you talk about strategy, I just want to quickly show you this slide, and this is, well, probably not quickly, we should probably spend a bit of time on it. I'm aware of the time as well, but we're more than halfway there. This is a bit of a sample of a strategy that, you know, I would put together and work with, and just a really nice guide for you. And you will have this template and this example in the templates provided. So what we've covered is objectives, title, formats. We haven't covered schedule and frequency in your KPIs. Thanks, Paul. I was mindful of time, that's all, but thank you. So this is a bit of an example for you, just to see what I'm talking about, and when you're talking about your strategy. So your for example, your objective might be to increase engagement by 20% on your video comments and interactions. Okay. So how are you going to do that? How are you going to get more people to watch your videos? So you can ask them a question and ask for their opinion. As I said, people love voicing their opinion on social media. Make the most of it. That will generate algorithm will work for you. It will generate comments. It will generate hits on your posts, and every algorithm prefers that. So you can ask them a question. What is your favorite product? Is it is ours too, or is this your favorite product? Or you can say, this is our best product so far. What do you think? Do you like it? Content can be a video or a photo. Schedule and frequency, once per fortnight, let's say, Sunday 4 p.m. What are your KPIs? What are you going to measure? How successful this post was. So you're going to look at videos, clicks, links, comments, shares, and likes. So obviously you want people to engage and hopefully share your post, because that means more people will see it and you will have more exposure and wider reach. Marketing objectives, again, create new leads up to 25% more per quarter. How are you going to do that? Again, some ideas. Sign up today and receive a free gift, or sign up today and receive additional value, or we offer you, there's a lot of people saying we don't want a discount, and I certainly don't want a discount. That's why I'll always add on something to that offer. That could be a photo or a lead form, twice a week, Monday and Thursday. And you're going to measure number of leads you're getting. Increase sales by 10% each month. Perhaps content title could be, our monthly sale is on now, don't miss out. Or we have time limited 24-hour sales starting at 12 o'clock today. Don't miss out. That could be an infographic. Usually what works for these types of posts is a simple, very bright infographic or some designed piece. Should be once a month, and you're going to measure that by number of sales you have. Okay, so you don't want to overdo that. That needs to be special. So I really wouldn't do it more than once a month. Okay, and we're looking at Instagram, which could be, you can flip this, you can, whichever works for your business, but I'm just giving you some examples. Brand awareness for the business acts as a provider, as a quality provider. So content title, welcome to our new store, meet our team, this is our product of the week. Just some ideas for you. A video once a month, once a week on Monday, and you're going to measure your video views and clicks and shares there. Increase number of followers on Instagram. So you can do a little competition, follow us today or receive a prize. So follow us today and don't miss out on next giveaway. Anything that's a bit of a engaging and bringing them on. We have all seen this on social media, but I'm pretty sure not many businesses have done it, because you think, oh, why would I do it? Is it going to work? Try, because sometimes you really want to make sure that they have seen it. Check your number of followers and increase engagement by 20%. I think engagement is opportunity to connect with your customers on so many levels. It's a customer service in digital world. You really, really should give your customers opportunity to talk to you on social and be responsive to their comments And sometimes that is by asking them a question, asking them an opinion. Try to do it once a week if you can. It really helps your algorithm. So that's my take on this. There's many, many, many different examples, but I was just throwing some ideas there for you. I hope that helps. So the next step, we have 2 steps to go. So I can see some comments and questions, but I need to keep going and I need to deliver this so we can come back to your questions, as I said at the end. Step 4, schedule your posts. Make the most out of your calendar. I can't tell you enough. If you do your posting every day, you are missing out. If you are scheduling your posting and adding your additional posts every day, you're doing well. I want everyone to think of scheduling. It's really, really important for a few reasons. Consistency, continuity. In your mind, you are working on your campaigns and your topics at the same time. I used to schedule all my posts a month ahead. It can cause some grief if things get cancelled or changed, and we just have to be on top of that. But if you can allocate 1 day a week, sit down and schedule all your posts for a whole month, that's how you should do it. If you're working on just one platform, that's how you should do it. Sit down and do it. If you're working on multiple platforms, you need to use, if you can, something like Hootsuite or social media management tool. Canva does it as well. A tool that will help you schedule multiple posts over multiple platforms. But start small, start with one platform, start with a week or 2 weeks worth of posts. But this is another example of how your scheduling should look like and what you could do. Every business is different, so this is just an example, okay? This is not like concrete how you have to do it, but you could definitely start by putting some awareness posts and awareness videos out. You can talk about your product every month. You know, in your mind, you think, okay, monthly, every week, I have to talk about my product at least once a week. And then you can do more awareness videos, promotions, competitions, refer a friend, some retention videos. You can include your user-generated content. Very, very important. If you get anything from your customers, like photos or reviews or anything that they do for you and your business, and they praise how good you are, that should be part of your strategy. I would use it once a week to post across your social media and say, this is what my customers say about me. And last but not least, I know some of you guys need to go, but last but not least is engagement. Engaging with your audience. As I said, engagement on social media is equivalent to customer service in real world. If your customer walks into your shop and says to you, this is lovely, I love your store, you're not going to stand there quietly. You're going to say, thank you. Is there something I can help you with? So what's really important that you do that and you actually try and somebody's creative on my slide. Well done on the infinity sign. So you want to engage with your audience, okay? I'll give you some examples. It can be a simple profiling of your staff member, and this is a staff member from Art Lovers Australia. Some of you that are arty will know Art Lovers, and this is one of their lovely ladies. And they're just, you know, talking about her. Kim, I think is her name, Kim Holland. And so many people responded saying, oh, so lovely, thank you. She was very helpful, great support. Art Lovers was making sure they respond to every comment. And I believe this would have been on Instagram, and they have Facebook and Instagram. They're responding to comments, you know, responding, saying thank you. This lady, Mel Robbins, I follow her. She's pretty cool. She says, you know, I believe something extraordinary will happen for you this year. Put a love heart in a comment. if you believe it too. And that's all they needed to do. Just put little love hearts or thumbs up or something, but that created engagement. It can be simple as that. A really nice message. Why not? But she then went and she responded to every single one of them. I tried to, especially the ones when she's asking for engagement, she goes back and comments, even if it's just thank you or thumbs up or something, but she was responding. So that relationship, and to answer your question, somebody asked before, how, is it going to be too many posts? And yes, it is. So the other way to overcome that, you can post less, twice a week, but engage more. Okay, so you do it the other way. You actually provide more engagement and more response to your customers, rather than just pushing different posts. Every business is different, so you will find your happy place, your happy medium there, or sweet spot as they call it. So that's the 5 steps. So you want, at the end of all this, you want to understand what's happening, okay? How is all this working for you, and how your KPIs are performing. So you will look at your marketing objectives again, and you will review your performance and your results. You will identify 1 to 3 key metrics for your goals, because you want to keep it simple, okay? It's too many things to do, and I totally understand. Check your performance regularly, daily, weekly, monthly, or quarterly, whatever works for you. I used to do it weekly when I was really busy, but if you can, maybe check it daily. It depends how often you post. If you can, use social media management platforms like Hootsuite, Canva, Sprout Social, etc., to monitor your activity if you're doing cross-platform work. Understand your activity and tweak your posts. Reuse, redesign, repost at different times. That's the key. So you don't have to keep creating new stuff all the time. Okay. And what did I put there? Marketing metrics that matter. Okay. Sometimes this is also called conversions. In my mind, it's a bit of both. So I'm just going to say it. These are the important things that matter to you. For your awareness stages, so if you're new in business and or you have a new product and you really want to bring awareness to that, so this is what you want to look for. Okay, you want to look for page likes, subscribers, followers, reach, impressions, video views, story or reel views. That metric really only matters for your awareness. So if you're trying to sell, that's not what you're going to be looking for. Okay, so this is really, if you're new business and you need to have your face and your business out there, that's what you need to look for. When your customers start considering buying from you, what you're going to realize, what works and what you need to pay attention on, is engagement, especially shares and comments, sentiment, sometimes that's those little emojis, websites or link clicks to your pages or your landing pages, percentage of your video completion, because depending how long your video is, you want your customers really to watch your video to the end. You'll see that they're really engaged and they're enjoying that. Especially if you have a question at the end, you want to keep that video short and make sure they watch it. Just while we're talking about video, people usually spend a minute watching a video. If it's longer than that, you're probably going to lose them. So keep it short. And you also want to look at your website or page dwell time. If people are coming to your website and they're reading a lot of information, that probably sounds that they are interested. Okay, you can see that they have some interest. Where the money happens is the decision stage. Your bottom of the funnel, what we call it, and as I said, I'll just keep it simple for you. So you want to look at your subscribers, perhaps downloads of your product if you're offering something, inquiries, how many people are messaging you, sending you direct messages, how your sales are performing. With all that engagement and all that work that you had, did you actually have more sales? And have you had some redemptions of perhaps coupons or discounts or so on? So you want to look at where you are making money and where that important conversions are happening. But for every stage, there's different things that will happen. You don't expect people to buy from you if they don't know who you are. So you need to invest some time and effort to explain about yourself and educate your customers about who you are and what your business and products are. Now, we have come to the end of that. So hopefully that kind of brings a lot of questions and a lot of information to you. We will have some more social media masterclasses scheduled. So keep an eye on our masterclasses and see what's coming up. I will be probably running 1 or 2 of those. We'll just have to confirm some dates. And I would like to thank you for being here today. It's been really good having this many people and this many questions. Thank you for the feedback too. I can see it's all coming in. But now is a really good time to ask if you have any questions or if you have any. I know there's probably a lot of information in your mind right now, and hopefully this will give you a great direction where you need to go. Very interesting. There you go. Thanks, Neil. Thank you, everyone. That's beautiful. Happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Those comments are coming through thick and fast. I can barely keep up. But if you want to type in a question, hopefully we'll be able to see it before it shoots off the top of the screen.
I think it's
Is it worth? There's one. There's a question. Is it worth paying for ads, say on Facebook?
Complex question. It's not easy to say yes or no. It's only worth if your customers are already in this final decision stage. If your customers know who you are and what you do, yes. Sometimes, depending if your business is only selling a product on Facebook, it can work. But if you are just starting and it's a particular product and customers don't know about it, I'll be very, very hesitant to pay for advertising unless you've done all other work. You can't expect. I'll give you a great example. I have a student who used to study with me. She was given a job to sell wooden scooters, really beautifully handcrafted children's scooters, $150 a scooter, on social media. And she said, I need to sell 2 a month. And I asked her, how many customers know about this? And she said, very few. So how are you going to sell something so specific if people don't know who you are? You need to educate them first. So you need to spend a month posting and creating engagement and talking about your scooters and how beautifully they're handcrafted and why they're so important before you can offer an ad and say, buy today or whatever. They will not buy from you if they don't know who you are. Very few businesses do it well, and that's a whole new webinar. So be very careful with your advertising on social media. Okay, more questions coming. When you create an Instagram account, would you make it personal or business account? If it's for your business, it must be a business account. Not only that that's what Instagram requires, but business accounts on every social media platform will give you insights and data that you don't have on a personal account. So yes, always a business account. Adam Cook. Okay, cool. Let me see. Instagram account. Let me see. Deeply. Will we be diving into individual platform at later time? Possibly. That's on the card. So we'll see what happens. If we have different products, should I have different avatars? Therefore, different marketing strategy for each. How then would you work on scheduling? Good question. I would start working first on your customers and see whether you can sell your same product or different products to same customers. So I wouldn't create too many different marketing strategies for too many different customers. And especially if you have then another layer, you're doing it for each individual product. So this will depend on a business. But if you have a small business with 5 products, I would just create your customers first and then strategy for that. Bigger businesses will have different product lines, and strategy will be different for that. So keep it very, very simple. Start from your customer, and you will see that most of you, if you have 3 different avatars, most of them will probably buy each one of your products. So you don't have to think too differently about it. Can change your personal really easy. Okay, yeah. If you, for most platforms, if you started with a personal account, you can change it to business account. Just say that. What is the best way to do market research in the area where there is no information given or shared? Investigation businesses don't like to advertise their prices and are not clear with specifics, let alone have competition, cold call. You need to do your research yourself. So I want you to pretend to be a customer. I was a customer for all of my competition. I've done it. I had to do it. I had to be a customer and experience how they do their business. I'm sure they did it to me. Some people call it secret shopper. Was it secret shopper? But yeah, I wanted to understand how they operate and how they do. That didn't really influence what I did, because I knew I was actually doing really well, but I wanted to understand what people do and how they operate. So do that. There are Marketline is a really good resource. I think it's Australian one that gives you industry data. You might have to pay for some of their reports. Paul would probably know a bit better. I'm just trying to remember from my MBA study. Marketline gives a lot of industry data, and there's another big company. But if you do a search on industry data reports, you will be able to check that. Australian Bureau of Statistics has lots of reports that are free that you can definitely check and see if you can find information there, especially on the business. But most times you'll have to do research yourself. So it's start small. That's what I would say. Don't think it's going to be easy, but start small. Facebook business and functionality. I would recommend you go to Facebook for Business on their YouTube channel and watch some videos there. It is absolutely fantastic. If you're going to learn anything, I'm self-taught most times. I've enrolled myself in many courses, and I did a lot of work myself. So and there's so much free information out there. So if you want to learn about anything, you should definitely visit Facebook for Business on YouTube, Instagram for Business as well, and Google Digital Garage and Google Academy. They share a lot of information there as well. So if you get stuck, that's more Google platform, but definitely gives you information. Templates will be available for download. You can tweak them yourself, just make them your own, add, remove, whatever. Facebook keeps taking money and you can't get out of it. You need to contact Facebook directly, and you should be able to do that. Would you use Instagram ads to create brand awareness by simply reaching more people that you could otherwise? Yes. One thing that I wanted to mention also, Instagram is, you must use hashtags. Instagram allows you to use up to 33 hashtags. You should use all 33. That helps you have wider reach. And obviously every business account is public and open, so you can definitely get that. I would use ads for branding, but I would like to understand how you're going to measure your objective and how you're going to know that that worked. So what you can do is have more people come and like you, but are they really there because you have great product and they want to follow you and they're interested? So I don't want you to just spend money to have more reach. Yes, it will be visible, but what then? you should have something to bring them over, to get them to sign up or buy or even register somewhere. So when you use advertising, for me, it was always really important to have an outcome. I don't want to just display my ad because I don't know if they're going to remember it. Common people need to see your ad 7 times to remember your business. So I want to make sure that they can remember my business. And sometimes you need to give them, often people say, give them something for free, whether it's some kind of template or ebook or something, a discount code or whatever that is. But get them on board to sign up or be part of your database, because that's important for so many reasons, but also, you know, for not just to follow you and be there. So I would say use very smartly, use Instagram ads for branding or brand awareness. Having private Facebook business group beneficial for making sales or stick to my Facebook page. I have been member of so many business groups. I can't count them. I'm still a member and I don't care. So that's just me. I probably wouldn't waste my time on that. Creating one, moderating one, managing what people comment, that can bring you into so many legal problems, probably wouldn't even worry about it. It's too much time.